This morning I opened my convert kit. Kit is not, I mean, they're now kits. I didn't know why. It's usually hard to go from a proper name to a new name. I opened my kit and I realized that in my front, just like in my front, gerege, were all the numbers of open rates. I send newsletters every day to people, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now. And I intentionally did not want to do a lot of numbers, and so I kept it like really close knit because I felt like the more people I had on like the newsletter, the more there's now a pressure to perform, and so it's not coming from the heart like I feel. But that's like my personal opinion and what I really wanted to do. So this morning I just entered Kit and I realized that wow, all the numbers were in my front. And it made me feel some certain kind of way. And I think I wrote about it in my newsletter, which is that you cannot life is about numbers at the end of the day. No, life is not about numbers, but the numbers are really important to life. Let me put it that way. But I think I'm going to do a heartfelt conversation around people's relationship with numbers. And that's what I'm going to be having a conversation on today. I hope that it makes sense to you, and I hope that you kind of like get to understand your own relationship with numbers, with data, with insights, and then see how you can build a system that helps you maximize what your relationship with numbers is. Without a doubt, see, guy, if you are not tracking anything, you cannot scale it. However, you now need to understand your relationship with tracking, your relationship with scaling, your relationship with data. How have you built yourself to engage data? Or how are you naturally optimized to make more sense from data? I hope this is an exciting episode as it is in my head, as I'm beginning to say. But yeah, catch you in a bit. You're welcome to my YouTube channel, by the way. So, yeah, if at the end of this episode you kind of like enjoy it, please share. We just crossed 1,000, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. At the point when I started doing YouTube content, I just wanted to do stuff, and now I have over 1K people as subscribers, and I'm excited. I mean, the road to 1 million, road to 100K. But yeah, thank you very much for those who have stayed consistent in watching my videos. And I don't know what the evolution of this YouTube is going to be, this YouTube channel is going to be. Maybe I'm going to keep talking about brands. But now, I mean, sometimes I don't even do like brand and communication, because one of my most popular videos on this channel is talking about documentation, which is WhatsApp. That's one of my most popular videos. And it was not entirely about like branding, communication, which is like my core. And so I don't know if it's going to evolve beyond that, because even the one we're even discussing now is not going to be branding and comms. It's about numbers and how people relate with numbers. So, but yeah, thank you very much for staying with me. But please also continue to share so that we can continue to grow, so that we can continue to scale. But yeah, this ties into what I'm even talking about, because at the point where I started, I was not so really concerned about, okay, number of people who are viewing. I just wanted to create. I just wanted to do. I just wanted to get my voice out. I just wanted to share some of the things that I usually tell myself in my head and see if it makes sense to a lot more people. And that's why I started YouTube in the first place. If you kind of like see the first set of contents that I started creating. But yeah, we are where we are. Back to what we were talking about. Yes, I said I opened my kit and I saw numbers first. Like, it was, I know that a lot of people enjoy that. I know people who numbers is their friends. They like to see it. They see an Excel sheet like this, their adrenaline will pump, their life comes alive. Then I know some other people who just want to work and do this, like they just want to create, they just want to do Yes, they want to know the business, but they also want to be able to focus so that the things that they are doing are not affected by the fact that they are now optimizing for numbers. I got to read up about something. I've forgotten it again now, but I'm going to put it in the comments about a phenomena where people are so concerned about numbers or so concerned about metrics that they now begin to engineer things, engineer the principles to get those numbers, right? And without necessarily scaling or growing, which is something a lot of people are also scared of. The fact that maybe they get under pressure to create if they are looking at who is watching and who is not watching, and so they are not doing it so well. So there are different dynamics of how people experience numbers. I think what I'm going to be sharing today is even from the perspective of either you are like me, who just wants to get things going and may not necessarily want to be stoned or overwhelmed with a lot of data, right, at a glance. Who, yes, you want to take time, go through the data little by little. You know, the same way, I think I was listening to a billionaire talk a couple of days, a billionaire in millionaire in dollars, stock a couple of days back, and he was saying how he does not like words, he does not like English, but if you see numbers like this, that's what he likes. That if it's a story or if it's a narrative or if it's like in text, he has to read and read and read again before he grabs it. But if it's numbers like this, straight up, and I kind of like understood it, because for some other people it's a flip. You can now have that conversation around the fact that with the numbers people that are making money, I think that they now needs to be like a marriage. So maybe you understand yourself and how best you work, and then work with people who are on the other side. One of the startups I previously worked, they were like two different people. One person who was like the CEO, is creative brain box, really just looking to see how things look, feel. Then the other person was the person who are kind of like understanding structure, seeing and looking at the numbers, ensuring that these things are moving. What I'm just trying to say is that different people relate to numbers different ways. And you need to find out how you relate with numbers and ensure that you are maximizing the person that you have identified. The person in this case is you, right? That you have identified, and knowing how to maximize it to get the best. This is what I mean. Either you like it or not, numbers are important. Numbers are valuable. Tracking things is extremely important to growth, and several other things. However, if you see that the way you engage with this thing is not like typical numbers person, let me put it this way, let me just rank it in like 3. Numbers person, not so much of a numbers person, then the other one is like people who want to like take their time and like go through it. Those 3 categories. You now need to see how you can build systems to ensure that there is still measurement, to ensure that there are metrics that you want to be judged by, because as important as feelings are in some dynamics, you now need to be able to bring the numbers that try to ensure that you make sense of the feelings, right? It's a numbers game, quite all right. But in some levels, you need to go with your guts. In some levels, you need to go with like being creative on the spot. Before I even get to that point, I think the whole essence of this chart is that identify the kind of person you are and see how in your own kind of person you can build a system that understands numbers your way without emotionlessly. Because yes, the data should still be what drives a lot of things. Data should still be what drives a lot of things. But if for you now you like proper Excel, you just want to be looking at the raw data, that's fine. you should optimize your system to be able to cater for that. If for you, you like data, but not so much. If you see a lot of data at once, you can just lose. Then you can see how maybe you can work with someone that understands that part to bring it into a cleaner part. You don't like the raw data, but you bring it to a cleaner part, and then you can engage. If you are like someone who needs time to go through data pace by pace, build systems that ensure, right, that you can relate with number at the different levels. Don't just assume that numbers are all important, or don't also just assume that numbers are everything. But there are people who believe that numbers are everything, sha. But again, yeah, life is different phases and different people and different persons. So yeah, that's my short chat, and I hope it's been loving, and I hope you also gained something. Numbers are really important, but yeah, try to see what numbers mean to you and make sense of it and maximize it. I hope this has been good. Have an amazing time.